Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Time to lose. Another round of Guess the Set. Welcome on in. Glad to have you all in. Thank you so much for Don't Get the D Block for raiding over with everyone today. Happy Wednesday, everybody. 24 hours from now, we'll be starting to see some brand new Negro League cards coming in, and it's great to have you all in. One double check. I'm going to have to leave a little early today, so I will not. I don't know if Dr. Dynastic will be available. I need to leave around 1:25 today. Have to go to an appointment, and this is just a service announcement. Yes, fumbling for names is really hard. It is. This is a service announcement. So, if you guys are over the age of 40, if you're watching this, you're over the age of 40, I highly suggest to go to a dermatologist at least once a year. It's very important to get those derm checks. If you've had, like, the doctors told you to go do that, you haven't done it, go book your appointment today. Book an appointment with your dermatologist at your soonest opportunity. Yes, I've got a little bit of skin cancer, which I'm having lopped out of my back later on this afternoon. And luckily we caught it in the early stage, at least we think so. So we'll find out a little bit more. But it's extremely important for you to go through and do those checks. I've been doing them annually, and luckily found something just a couple weeks ago. So it's always important for you to go through and make sure you're doing those. If you've put those off, if you thought, I don't need that, or you stop going, go back and do it again. Get it in your system. It should be fine. I'm not going to worry about anything until I have an opportunity or need to worry. At least that's what I'm telling myself. Denial is the great, amazing thing. But just from one person who's going through it now, and I've been good at doing it, don't forget those. Make sure you put it on your list. And if you haven't, if you're under 40, you should have a check every 3 years or so. Stuff happens. You go out in the sun. You have a good time. You had a great weekend, maybe, So just, if I have this opportunity to sit and talk with you all, this is just one thing I want to share so that you don't do it. You knew I was over 40. Exactly. So anyway, great to have you all in here. We are looking forward to today's Guess the Set. It's right there. I'm 97. Yeah, I'm right there. I'm definitely not perfect. Well, thank you. We got stuff going on, guys, today. We're going to go through... hey, listen, I figure if I can pass it on to you guys and help share, that's the most important thing. So just, like, if you've been putting it off, go do it. It is no time like the present. The sooner you catch it, the better you're done. Yes, I was born in 97. I'm the spitting image of a 27-year-old. So it's always a fun thing. Let's do this. So, coming up, by the way, schedule's going to get a little wonky. I'm going to be off in London seeing the Phillies and Mets coming up in like a week from now. Like next Thursday, I think we take off. So, just follow. You never know what's going to happen. We may do some live look-ins from the game. Andy from Sheffield was nice enough to get tickets for me. I said, if you get the tickets, I'll go. So we're going over. My better three quarters and I are going over. We're going to go enjoy the games. And D Block Dragon got tickets not too far from the section from us. So we're all going to get together at the game. And we'll maybe do a little live broadcasting as we go through in the London series. And then I'm going to be taking the next 10 days off after that to go hang out in Scotland in the Highlands. So I will be streaming possibly, but maybe not. It's vacation. We'll see. It's and again, people are working on that theme team of players who are from places that EDC has streamed. I'm going to try to help you out as much as possible. The Loch Ness Monster. Yeah, we'll watch out. It's all sorts of monsters. It's a tiny town. Bloodster. It's a nice town. This week we have Guess the Set going on, and I'm going to try to go through this relatively quickly, but you know me, I talk. So I can meet my deadline of getting out of here by about 1:25. Maybe 1:20. Should get out a little ahead of time. And so cheap. Excuse me, coming from New York, I'm not too worried. Also, if I have a little bit of nasal sounding, etc., I think I'm getting allergies. Like the pollen has just burst like crazy here in New York City. So it's been a fun couple days. The last one in 1989. Things might have changed a little bit in the last 20, 35 years, my friend. So we got NeL Set 2. Welcome. This is our 281st episode of the Theme Team stream. Glad to have you all in here. And, well, I screwed this up. You know, it doesn't take a professional. It does take a professional. It does take a professional. And obviously, I am not one of them because I thought I had my act together. I didn't. So let's go through. I'm going to just get this going here so I can clean things up a little bit. And again, very exciting news just as this is coming out today, right? Just as we're talking about this and setting this up, last night, big news bomb dropped. And again, I don't think it was too out of the, realm. They've been talking about doing this. There's a committee figuring this out. I am staying on brand. I try to stay on brand. But on Baseball Justice Records, Negro League stars rise to the top. Josh Gibson replaced Ty Cobb as the all-time batting leader after MLB's decision to formally recognize Negro League statistics. And I thought this was interesting, really kind of going through. There is your new batting average. Josh Gibson with a 372, Ty Cobb 367, Oscar Charleston number 3, 363, Roger Hornsby 358, Judd Wilson 350, Turkey Stern 348, Ed Delahanty 346, Buck Leonard 345, Tris Speaker, and Ted Williams. The interesting thing on this list, the all-time career batting average leader for someone that did not play during the segregated eras is Tony Gwynn, with I think 342 if I'm not mistaken. Because again, all these players have played during an era of segregation, which is kind of an interesting thing. It's an interesting lens to think about when you're looking at players and their stats, which I don't think I fully had thought about before, about looking at players who played during an era of integration versus an era of segregation. And the fact that you weren't able to play against the best players of your time. Does that prop up your stats? Does it reduce your stats? I don't know. It's interesting. Grizz, how you doing? Good to see you, my friend. Flying Attack Squirrels, good to see you as well. 95, huh? Was the last time you were there? 40 years going? 30 years. I can't do math. Math is hard. Again, we have this wonderful St. Louis Cardinals and the San Francisco Giants are playing a game at Rickwood Field in Birmingham, Alabama next month. Thorne, one of the MLB's official historians, says about 75% of all Negro League box scores have been documented. And the Negro League's numbers will always be a work in progress. Barnstorming games, essential as a financial lifeline to Negro League's teams, are not included in the statistics, which I thought was interesting. Because why? Where are you going to be? You going to be in London too? And again, examples here, they're playing probably 150, 175 games a year with all the barnstorming games, but only 60 to 80 games counted in the league standings, and those are the stats that are being recognized, which is really interesting. The irregularity of their schedules, said MLB, established in the spring but improvised during the summer, were not of their making, but instead were born of MLB's exclusionary practices. So the committee that this is coming from, I think so this is the thing. This is the interesting thing, right? As they go through and continue to find more research to break into box scores, some games they only have the score. They don't have everything. But the stats that they do have, they've gone through and put those stats in. But there are seasons that we don't have the stats for. So these all-time records, as more research gets done to find those different box scores, the records may change over time depending on additional games that are found. Yeah, Barnstorming games are similar to spring training games for MLB. Yeah. So the committee that this MLB had put together use the same statistical minimums for Negro League leaders as it does for American and National Leagues. 3.1 plate appearances or 1 inning pitched per scheduled team game. So the scheduled games for the Negro Leagues range from 26 in 1942 to 91 in 1927. Awesome, because why? We'll have to hook up at some point. Always looking for people in the community. Yeah, the research around this is crazy. And I guess in a lot of negotiations. I haven't looked at everything in this, but I thought this was just, again, fascinating. I'm still digesting. I need more time to read. And then there's also the interesting difference in how Baseball Reference and the MLB look at stats. And it's all based on the number of plate appearances. So just really interesting. MLB considers the league schedules to be 47 games long, so Vargas falls short of the MLB's minimum 146 plate appearances required for recognition as a lead leaguer. He only had a league leader, not lead leaguer. He only had 136 plate appearances with a 471. So, again, really, we're going to be navigating some of this, the messiness of things. But there's all sorts of interesting, resources and things that are coming through. So anyway, just, what great timing to be able to have all this going on at the same time that we're talking about the Negro Leagues in OTP. And again, for us in the OTP community, we've kind of seen and looked at a lot of these stats a lot more and learned about these players the last couple of years as we continue to get more and more players integrated in the game. I'm going to go over some history of a couple other players that I'll have for my picks to click this week. But we've got a forum. It's Guess the Set, which we do every single week. And join us in Guess the Set. If you haven't joined us, why don't I get you a chance to get in? You have a chance to win some packs. Just guess what's coming tomorrow in Guess the Set. There is the link to the forum. Get on in. You have until noon tomorrow. No, 11 something tomorrow. We're going to do our normal pre-twipped hype show tomorrow on Laptop Hound's channel. But get on in. And again, you just have to fill out the form. Get the most, whoever gets the most points. It's going to be the leader and get 20 standard packs. Second place gets 5 standard packs. And this highbreaker is the last card on stream, whatever the overall stuff is for a pitcher, whatever the overall on BABIP for the hitter. I don't know if we get a satchel yet. We got satchel early last year, then we got a satchel later with the Immortal Seasons. So, a lot of interesting players. By the way, the Bagels and Schmear are still going on. There's still some openings. Get in the Bagels and Schmear. We got 2 days left to get for the 30th and 31st. The final standings is super close right now. The UVM Cats are ahead with 14 points. The Alameda Placita PCK are up at 13 points. The Bocce Boys 11 points. The Metro Keys have 10 points. And the home of the Braves have 10 points. Within striking distance, the folks with 8s, the Possum Ridge Southpaws of Chess Safari, who I saw on stream, the Caboche, and the Glasgow Pipers. Win today, tomorrow, and the next day, you have a chance. Anything can happen in this one. So we're getting close to our monthly winners on that. Make sure you get in on that. And our upcoming schedule, we'll be back on Saturday at a normal time. Then Monday after Dr. Dynastic, doing the postseason for the 2034 theme teams. And then back here for Guess the Set next Wednesday. Also tomorrow, Fussmucker is spectacular. Now, I don't understand the origin of this slide at all. I really don't. But we have our Three Amigos show, pre-twipped hype show tomorrow at 11 a.m. Thursday. We'll be talking about what everyone's been guessing. Come check out this a little bit more. But yes, spoilers tomorrow. And what is this reference, guys? You guys know references better than I do. What is this exactly? This is Jimmy Hart and the Hart Brothers. Okay, the Hart Foundation of the WWE. Okay. See, now I did not actually go through this, but I love that he added the little Amigos hats. It's a traumatic image. Yeah, it is. It is something, isn't it? It is definitely something. Anyway, join us tomorrow at 11 a.m. We'll be going over some TWIP hype. And I think that's Fussmecker's head right there on the trophies. So you got us all in. Got us all in. Okay, let's get in. Get to guess the set. Yes, he would be my manager. I got that. I got that one. I got that one. So here's our little, our teaser this week. Every Thursday we get new cards in Out of the Park Baseball 24. This week it'll be the Negro League Set 2. 20-plus cards spanning from Iron to Perfect, including plenty of familiar names as well as some new ones. So let's go check out this week's Guess the Set form and some different questions we have. And, of course, I have to... So let's go talk about the set coming up this week. I thought I'd take back and look at what we've gotten so far in Set 1. Set 1 gave us 28 players, 4 throwback cards, so 32 Negro League players altogether, and 4 perfects. Jackie Robinson, Heavy Johnson, Nip Winters, and Henry McHenry. So your first question on the form this week, how many PT25 cards will we get in this set? So not including the throwbacks. We got 28 the first one. We're getting 20-something tomorrow. You peg the number correctly, you will get a point. If you're wrong, you get 0 points. And how many perfects will we get? We'll get another 4 again? Will we only get 3? Guess how many perfects we get? Again, get a point if you get it right. If you don't get it right, you don't get any points. It's okay. It's all the point. It's bunk. It is what it is. We got 4 throwback players. We got Ken Ball Jackson from PT21, Saul White from PT23, Louis Tiant Sr. from PT23, and Pete Hill from PTXX, also known as PT20. Your questions this week. Will we get a throwback card? We had a couple weeks back there we didn't get throwbacks cards. We got a ton of throwback cards last week. Do we get any this week? Do they kind of go back and forth? And if you want to go through and name, even if you don't think we're going to get a throwback card, name some throwback card from a past year. If you get it right, you'll get 5 points. If you're the only person to guess it and you get it right, you get an additional 3-point bonus. So this is the literal needle in a haystack, dart throw in the dark. You got to figure out how you're going to do that. So if you get it, extra bonus points for you. A great guess here could win the week. So that is a thing. Last week, someone did guess Ellie De La Cruz. The 8 points got them into the money last week. So you never know what you're going to get in this Negro League Set 2. So those are the first 4 questions, I think, on the form. Again, this is the form here. Yeah, will we get a throwback card? If we get a throwback card, who will it be? Another fun stat from the first one. Again, this is the Guess the Set form. Get in there if you haven't gotten in. Get your entries in. Another fun stat we figured out is that 45% of the players in Set 1 were not in PT24. So I'm asking you again, how many of the cards that we're going to get, maybe make sure I ask this question properly. In Set 1, 45% of the cards were new players since the previous year, did not have a card in PT24. What percent of the cards in Set 2 will be players that were not in PT24? 3 points if you guess within 5%. Any questions? Yes, David S. Pumpkins here. These are the 9 players who made their debut. Part of it. Yes, it is David S. Pipkins. It is a thing. It's Diamond S. Pipkins. Always fun. So, 9 players made their debuts. That's a lot of players making debuts. And I have a feeling that we'll be getting some more, as he said in his teaser. And I mean, I am not good about going through all the I'm not sure where you're getting your lists, Spore. I would love to go through and figure out where you're getting your list. The interesting thing this week, when I was doing some research on some of the players that I have for my Bunkalicious picks of the week, Felton Snow and Jake Stevens all showed up in some quotes from players, which I thought was really interesting. Yeah, I think you've seen it. On Halloween, I wear my Jack. What the pumpkin? I don't know. Anyway, Lucas gets them all for you. That's cool. That's cool. I am definitely interested in trying to figure out where I can find some cool names that I can go through because I know you love the cool names. So just remember that, guys. Excuse me. Again, allergies are kicking my butt. So what percentage of all the cards in the set, PT25 plus Throwback, will not have had a card in PT24? So you might get a PT20 that wasn't in PT24. So we're going to be doing that list. C-Mids is probably the best. Yeah. When we did League League Set 1, I went on a limb and said we were going to get these 5 cards. Jelly Gardner, Chet Brewer, Carlos Royer, Valentin Drake, and Bruce Petway. And as is true to form, it was all bunk. Not a single one of these players got a card last time out. So I'm going to roll with this. I proposed these 5 players again. And you just have to choose how many of these 5 players will get a card. It's a pull down. It's real easy. It's either 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. You choose how many of these will get a card. It's in the form. I'm doubling on the bunk. So I got these left over, and you don't have to guess which one's bunk. This one you just guess how many of these are going to come through. How many of these will get a card this week? And again, you can go 0 to 5 on this one. And then I'm coming up with some brand new bunk for you. Some brand new suggestions for this week. I thought I'd go through. So before we get to those, again, get in the form. No one rebunks. Rebunking is like regifting. It's not cool. I definitely want to get I want to put some work in there. He bunked and he bunked again. I saw him. He's a double bunker. At some point, I will have to tell you, I really believe that with the pigeons and the Dunkin' Donuts down below my place, I have become a Seinfeld character, and I'll work out that routine later. But it is remind me about that. It is really. It's not too often in life the Dunkin' Donuts guys call the cops on somebody, but we're waiting on that. Well, you know what, Devil Gladson? This is Devin. Sorry, Dave. I called you Devil. I called you Devin. Dave L. That's the amazing thing about OOTP is you start learning about stuff. No, I am the neighbor. I'm Kramer. Again, this is where we do some bunk here. Again, Fussmucker just really enjoys making things. Yeah, the double mint bunk. I guess the joy of bunk. So we're going to go through the joy of bunk here. I do enjoy putting these together. So let's talk about some different players that I'm going to choose for my Bunkalicious picks this week. That's the last thing on the form, so I don't want you. We do have another. I think there's something else in the form, which team's going to get the most cards. In the past years, the Homestead Grays and the Kansas City Monarchs have been the biggest teams, but choose something different because you never know. Andy Lefty Cooper, one of my picks for this week. Elected to the Hall of Fame in 2006. Played for the Detroit Stars and the Kansas City Monarchs. According to the scouting report prepared by famed Negro Leagues player and manager Buck O'Neill, Cooper had a live arm with a total command of all his pitches, which included a running fastball, tight curve, and biting screwball. When Sporer is going through and trying to figure out how he's going to put something, because again, the stats are not always complete, right? We talked about earlier, only 75% of the Negro League box scores are kind of there to be able to get all the stats. But you rely a lot when you're coming up, and you don't have split data. There's no such thing as split data ever going to happen. So you rely on different accounts from players. You may rely on listening to podcasts from, like, the Black Diamonds. I don't know if you've seen that podcast, really good podcast. If you want to learn about the Negro Leagues and some of the history, listening to Negro League players on podcast. This is moderated by the president of the Negro League Hall of Fame in Kansas City. Excellent thing. You should go listen to that. But Andy Lefty Cooper had sterling control Cooper could almost put the ball any place he wanted it to go. So if we get Andy Cooper, he should have crazy, crazy control. Yeah, one player named Righty would be fun. And that was from Ross Cowens of the Chicago Defender, one of the big black newspapers of the time in Chicago. He knew the weakness of every batter in the league and would pitch to that weakness. And Spore, I have to tell you, there's another thing that I found. If you have not seen this book, and everyone, I just found this yesterday. Voices from the Great Black Baseball Leagues. It's a book that you can find on Amazon. You can get it for your Kindle. It's like $10 or whatnot. I just put the link in there. It is basically oral histories, and what he did, the author went through and talked to different Negro League players and asked them and got quotes to them about other players to give more meat to what you're seeing and learning about a player. If you couldn't see them, it was almost like seeing them because you're seeing through the eyes of their contemporaries, which is really freaking cool. So that's a really cool book to go. Yes, you should get that, Spore. That link's in there in chat. Again, a career 118-64 record, 43 inning streak without issuing a walk with the Detroit Stars. Led the Kansas City Monarchs to Negro League NL pennant in 1929. Pitched 17-inning playoff game against the Chicago American Giants in 1937. Managed the Monarchs to 3 pennants in 1937-1940. According to Negro League's historian Dick Clark, in my estimation, the greatest black player ever to pitch for Detroit. That's for the Stars or the Tigers here in Andy Lefty Cooper. Yeah, when Buck O'Neil praises him, he must be good, right? So, interesting thing, too, that he managed the Monarchs, and then at the age of 41, well, it was in 1941, but he wasn't much older than that. He had a stroke, and that was it. He had a stroke and died, and that's why he didn't continue to manage and be part of baseball at that point, and that was 1941. And the next player on my Bunkalicious picks for the week actually took over as the Kansas City Monarchs after a lengthy playing career. And that player is none other than Newt Colt Allen. Played for the All-Nation squad, the Kansas City Monarchs, the St. Louis Stars, the Detroit Wolves, the Homestead Grays, and the Indianapolis Clowns. Now, Spore, I thought you'd like this, right? We just saw the best player that ever played for Detroit, right? In Andy Cooper. And now, an Austin, Texas native, Newt Allen. Newt's father died of tuberculosis when he was 9 years old, and Newt went to live with an aunt in Kansas City, and that gave him the chance to really hang out and be around different baseball squads. And his aunt's house was right across the street from a ball field that he spent most of his youth in. So he's a high school friend. In high school, his friends were Frank Duncan and Rube Curry, some Negro League players you may have heard of before. And they played left and left ball together. They got to the Monarchs faster than he did. He started playing for the All-Nations team. Now, I didn't really know about the All-Nations team in detail, but again, it's so-called because it was integrated and employed players of different races and ethnicities. It was based out of Omaha, and it was the feeder for the Monarchs. Knew it was practically in your backyard in Texas. That's awesome. He finally joined the Monarchs in 1923 at third base his first season, then shifted to full-time to second base in 1924. Three-time Negro League All-Star second baseman, Negro League World Series champion in 1924 and 1942. So he was, his second season in 1924, he won a World Series championship with the Kansas City Monarchs. And then as a player manager, taking over after Andy Cooper. After Andy Cooper had a stroke in his second season in 1941, Newt comes in to manage the player manager. And by 1942, in his second year as a player manager, he won a championship with the Kansas City Monarchs. Again, that is a crazy, crazy break, right? That's, 18 years? 19 years difference in break of winning world championships. A career 288 hitter, 1,053 hits and 10 home runs. Not a big home run hitter, but this is Buck O'Neil talking about when he got to Kansas City. When I got there, Newt was in his mid-30s, but even after 16 years, he was still an excellent second baseman, and he had 6 more good years left in him. He could make all the players around all the plays around the bag, and I've never seen a second baseman with as good an arm. Yeah, I mean, when you have that success as a player manager, it's kind of crazy, right? Because that's a lot of stuff going through. But a lot of these guys, I did a theme team a couple years ago, which was players that managed, and there are a lot of players in Negro Leagues that got into managing, and I included players who were in Negro League managers. So it's kind of fun. I also included that Satchel Paige was kind of a pitching coach for the Atlanta Braves, which helped him get his pension for the major leagues. Yeah, the Kansas City Monarchs. They're kind of, the Yankees of baseball. Honestly, they were a very good team. So those are 2 of my picks to click this week. Again, your goal is going to be eventually to figure which one of these are not going to get a card this week, and it's possible that none of them will get a card because there's just a lot of different players you can choose from to make these sets, which is just so many great players to include. My third one is Martin El Maestro Dihigo from Cuba. Played for Cuban Stars East, the Homestead Grays, the Hill Day Giants, the New York Cubans, and elected to not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 different Baseball Hall of Fames. 5 different Baseball Hall of Fames. Started on the Cuban Baseball Hall of Fame in 1951, the Mexican Hall of Fame in 1964, the U.S. Hall of Fame in 1977. Definitely one of the best Latino players of all time. I agree with you, JB. Started his career as a second baseman, moved to short, but excelled in the outfield with a cannon of an arm. Cuban Dihigo also pitched, throwing the first ever no-hitter in the Mexican League in 1938, leading the league in strikeouts, and also hit 300 that year. Kind of a two-way star. DiMaggio said he was the best he ever saw. Dihigo bailed you out of many a perfect drafts in PT24 with a two-way. Yeah. In 1943, at the age of 38, Dihigo managed a team in the Dominican Republic that featured Johnny Mize, then a star for the New York Giants. Valuing Dihigo, even at that age, Mize called him the greatest player he had ever seen at age 38. Negro League's career 307 average, 511 slugging, 431 hits, 64 dingers, 61 doubles, 17 triples, 227 RBIs, 219 runs in 1,404 at-bats. As a pitcher, he went 26-19 with a 2.92 ERA with 176 strikeouts and 80 walks in 354 innings. He served as a player manager of the New York Cubans in 1935-1936. And Buck Leonard said he was the best ball player of all time, black or white. So again, some amazing players here that we're going here, and I'm doing in my guess the set bunk picks. Again, if you're just joining us, I've got a couple more I'm going to go over here. But I am, like I said, I'm trying to end a little fast today because I do have an appointment to get to. But I want to make sure you all get in here. This may be faster than I even realized. One of my other favorite ones I like for this week, Quincy Big Train Troop. Played for the St. Louis Stars, the Kansas City Monarchs, the Homestead Grays, the Detroit Wolves, Chicago American Giants, the Bismarck Churchills, the Indianapolis ABCs, the Cleveland Buckeyes, the Chicago American Giants, and eventually got to play with the Major League's Cleveland Indian squad in 1952. So again, really tough beginning for his family. Sharecroppers in Georgia, definitely the racism and everything that he approached there. The family moved to St. Louis. Again, still racism. Did forays into basketball. Actually was a decent boxer. He won the first Gold Gloves competition in St. Louis and missed the 1937 baseball season later in his career. Basically doing some during the off season, he just was like boxing. He basically hurt his shoulder and missed an entire season in 1937. But he gravitated, and really his first love was baseball. He signed with the Chicago American Giants. One of the fondest memories was hitting a triple, single, and homer off of Satchel Paige when he was with the Chicago American Giants. This next fact was the craziest thing I saw, and I think this was from, again, Sabres bios that I went through and looked at. He wanted to enlist in World War II, but could not with dependents. So he wasn't eligible. So in order to support the war effort, he worked in an aircraft factory. In 1943, the next year, Senor Pasquale offered to increase U.S. manpower by giving them 80,000 Mexican workers in exchange for allowing Quincy and Loic Smith to play in the Mexican League. And this trade actually happened. So think about it in a crazy way, right? You've got World War II going on. And this guy has enough workers and is rich enough that he has 80,000 workers he's going to dedicate towards the U.S. war effort in order to give the U.S. the permission to let these two players play in the Mexican League. Yeah, I don't know how that shows up in the transaction log, but that's a pretty good trade. When's the last time you were trading for 80,000 people? Factory manufacturers, I think. So anyway, that was crazy. Again, he was an 8-time Negro League All-Star catcher. Won the Negro League World Series championship in 1945. Became one of the oldest rookies in MLB history and the first black catcher in the American League, appearing with the Indians in April of 1952 at the age of 39. He had only played a smattering of games in the majors. Bob Feller said Quincy just came a little too late because he couldn't get in during his prime. It's a shame because there's no doubt in my mind he would have been a very good major leaguer when he was in his prime. That's Bob Feller talking about Quincy Troop, who was a teammate of his with that Cleveland Ball Club that season in 1952. Again, really interesting. Again, just thinking about now stats of players and, the always amazing what ifs, right? If it was not segregated leagues, how would history be different? Would the numbers for some of the stars on the list be different? We saw that again based on the career numbers for both white players and black players. Things might have been very different. And it's really interesting now to think about the non-segregated leaders like Tony Gwynn leading in batting average now as the leader of a 342 is the highest batting average for someone who played during a non-segregated career. So just really interesting stuff here. This is my 4th pick to click this week. I have one more pick to click, and that is Tommy Pee Wee Butts. Now I was looking through stuff, looking past Negro League players for the last couple seasons in PT24 and PT23, and this name came up, and I thought it was for the name, but then the more I read about it, I really started to love Pee Wee Butts. Played for the Atlanta Black Crackers, the Indianapolis ABCs, the Baltimore Elite Giants for the majority of his career, the Birmingham Black Barons, and the Memphis Red Sox. I know, Rob Deere. He was nicknamed Pee Wee due to his 5'7" and 140-pound frame. 140 pounds, 5'7". Stick boy, as Spora would say. Tommy broke into the major leagues with the Atlanta Black Crackers in 1936 at the age of 17. Players, knowing he was so young, tried to intimidate him by sliding him with their spikes into second base. The team moved to Indianapolis the following season and was converted and renamed the Indianapolis ABCs. And one day, the ABCs played the Baltimore Elite Giants, and the Baltimore Elite Giants said, "Hey, would you like to do a little tryout for us after the game?" He went on the tryout, and after the game, they offered him the job. And he spent the next 12 seasons playing for Baltimore Elite Giants. And again, it's very clear. If you listen to the podcast, etc., the guys always didn't call them the Elite Giants. They called them the Elite Giants. So every time we had the Elite cards last year, we called them the Elite. Now, Pee Wee had a problem with nerves at first when he started playing. Yeah, he would definitely fit on that squad, JB. You're right. He was so nervous in his first games in Baltimore that he threw 3 balls into the stands. His manager, Felton Snow, one of the brand new players that came in this year into OTP, Spore is one of the new debuts to a perfect team this year, Felton Snow. It was his manager at the time with the Baltimore Elite Giants, and gave him the nickname Cool Breeze. And Cool Breeze to help him feel comfortable, and it worked. Cool Breeze is definitely a better name than Pee Wee, although, you know, then people are making fun of him like, oh, it's Cool Breeze Butts. I don't know. It is a possible thing. But yeah. So what did you clip Spore? I didn't even see what did I say? Cool Breeze Butts, yes. It feels like, what is that, like a anyway, I'm not going to go there. Cool Breeze and Grandson of the Wind on the same team would be fun. There should be some chemistry. Look at the clip. What did I do? I will look at the clip after. You gonna make me look at the clip? What did I do? Get your energies. Guess the set. The more I read about it, I really started to love Pee Wee Butts. The more I read about it, I really started to love Pee Wee Butts. The more I read about it, I really started to love Pee Wee Butts. The more. Okay. If I was saying the more I read about it, the more I fell in love with Cool Breeze Butts, I don't think it would have been any better. And that's how internet memes are born. Five-time Negro League All-Star shortstop, 3-time led the Negro League in defensive WAR, and spent 9 seasons in the top 10. And he helped Junior Gilliam become a solid Major League second baseman as a double play combo for the Elite Giants. Now, I really, again, I mentioned this book before, The Voices of Black Baseball. These 2 quotes were in it, which I thought was great. I'd compare Butts with Reese or Rizzuto or anyone I've seen in the big leagues. That's Roy Campanella. And then Butts was the type of shortstop that Jake Stevens, another new debut this year in the Negro Leagues, was. In other words, he'd remind you of Phil Rizzuto. He'd single and double on you all day long and catch everything. That was Hilton Smith. So again, you start to know these names. Like, I didn't know Hilton Smith 4 years ago before I started playing out of the park baseball. I know Hilton Smith now. I know him as a pitcher. I know him as a pitcher that is quite good. When you have someone like Hilton Smith talking about a player and what he did, hit like Phil Rizzuto, hit like Jake Stevens, single and double on you all day long, catch everything at shortstop. So this is an interesting thing. Yeah, we'll be a Jake Stevens clone. Interesting. So again, I love this. Again, this is the book. If you want to get this book, I highly recommend it. I'm in the middle of reading the 3 Body Project right now, but then I'm going to try to spend more time reading all this. I think it's just, I went through a little bit and it's just spectacular. A lot of interesting things going through. And John Holliday, basically, during the late 60s and early 70s, he sought out veterans in the Negro Leagues and recorded their recollections, and then he basically combined them all together. So you can find a player like Tommy Butts, and you can see all the quotes in like one area about it. So it's a really great way. Sport, I think you'll really enjoy this as a reference that you'll be able to use to give more insight in what a player was like when you're coming up with stats for stuff. So it is very cool. Oh, you guys. I knew! See, this is why this name is just destined for this. Tommy Pee Wee, Cold Breeze, Butts. One of my picks to click this week. So get your guesses in, guys. It is Guess the Set. It's time to get your guesses in. It is a thing. Let's get your entries in. I think it's relatively straightforward this week. And then, of course, you have to guess some players, right? So this is the bunk picks. If you're looking for this, your task, which one is bunk? Is it Andy Cooper, Newt Allen, Martin Dihigo, Quincy Troop, or Tommy Butts? This week, there's a little bit different points on this one, which I don't remember. We've got this, yes. So, yes, this is the form here. So again, we had 20 cards in set 1. How many cards will we get in League League set 2? We had 4 perfect cards in set 1. How many will we get in Negro League set 2 this week? Will we get a Negro League throwback card this week? If we get a Negro League throwback card, who will it be? 45%. No, he's not going to get... You know, this is the thing I know. Sport does not change based on my stuff. I'm pretty sure. At least he said he doesn't. His stuff is baked in way before to get the art and everything going. So, 40% of the cards were new players last time. Which percent will be new to PT20 that weren't in PT24? So, who's going to be new year over year? How many? What percentage of them? I had 5 different picks last time. That would be picks to click. None of them got cards last time. So, you get to choose how many will be cards this time. Which team will have the most Negro League set cards in the Negro League set this week? That includes the throwbacks in it. And then you're guessing, out of the blue, what 3 players you think is going to get a card? Could be Satchel Paige, if that's who you think it is. It could be Josh Gibson. They could be here, or they could be later. I do not know. I am so bunky. You forgot all your choices? Yeah, I hate that. Will Pee Wee Butts be perfect? Chef's kiss. Butts did have a card last year. Yeah, he did. He was very good last year. You're fine to go pick someone that had a card last year. So it's 5 points if you get them. If the card comes in, we get a card. It's a 3-point bonus if you're the only person guessing them. So if you guess someone obscure, no one else guessed, and he gets a card, you get 8 points, which could be a difference. And then you can put in on this. So if you guess a bunk, very nice. Dr. Dynastic, are you home already? Because I'm pretty much ready to go. I'm pretty much done. But whenever you want to go, I can do that. So if you choose, I'm about like 3 to 5 minutes away. You'll go top of the hour? Perfect. We'll do top of the hour. I will vamp until then. So you can guess none get a card or all get a card, but that's only worth 1 point if that comes through. If you guess a specific player, you get 3 points. And that's it. And then don't forget to put in the overall BABIP and the overall stuff. Exactly, vamping. So this is my picks this week. My bunk picks. My picks to click. That is just horrible music lessons. I'm not even letting that go through. There you go. Just no. No. Those are the picks. What else I got in this? Get your entries in. It's great to have 340 of you hanging out this afternoon. Get your entries in on this week's Guess the Set. Again, tomorrow, join us for the Three Amigos pre-Twip show, hype show. on Laptops Channel 11 a.m. Always good, fun. And this is the what is it? The what brothers again? The what? The Frank Chances? No.
This crowd is wild.
Thank you for the follow. Glad to have you in, my friend. The Carter brothers? No. Let's see. The Heart Foundation. We'll be on TWIP tomorrow. I also, just giving the Fussmucker love. Can do Twitch affiliates. Host the pre-show without driving the viewers crazy. If you ever saw the old Odd Couple. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know. Can we get that? Is there a Odd Couple intro music? Yeah, here we go. Anyway. So there's that. And then, of course, the Labbit and EVC Costello, which was spectacular with the score in the background. I don't know, music lessons. I kind of feel like we got the wrong roles here. What do you guys think? You picture Lap as a neat freak in that Odd Couple? Okay, so you think that's right? I haven't heard the theme in 2 decades. I know. It's nuts. So yeah, I don't know. We should do some informal polling here. Am I the guy in the sweatshirt and he's the neat freak that's all dressed up? I don't know. You picture me as the neat freak. Well, a puzzle also means you just have a brain that's all over the place, right? So, I don't know. I'm the judge of my 2 dads. I don't know that. There's a judge in my 2 dads? We have to do this one more time. This was just fun. Floris Stanley was the judge. Is there no videos? I do not know this show. I really don't know my 2. Anyway. I don't know about that. I have no idea. So I'm more Oscar Madison. I was a sports writer. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that. That Butkus was in it. Yeah, I really, for some reason, my 2 dads was not totally something I looked at. When was that series running? 87 to 1990. I have no idea what I was doing, but I was not watching my 2 dads. BJ from BJ the Bear is in my 2 dads. I think we've had this discussion before. Anyway, I think I like Labbit and Top Hound and Evis Costello. I was in my Perfect Strangers phase. Was I Pinchot or was I Tom Hanks? Is there a good Perfect Strangers still? Wow. Perfect Strangers, Bronson Pinchot. I'm thinking of the other one. What was Tom Hanks in? Bosom Buddies. There you go. So, yes. I always, yes. I do feel like Fussmucker's going to bring us a Bosom Buddies soon here. It is, sitcom television is a very, very interesting, weird look at life. What can I tell you? Join us tomorrow at 11 a.m. Thursday. Where is Mypos? I don't know where Mypos is. Mypos, what's? You know, this is one of those things. Is this like one of those videos where you teach old people old thing? Well, that doesn't look. My point of sale. Okay. Ah. Welcome to Mypos, home of Bibi Bicas. It's been a while, guys. It has been a long while since I've seen this show. Wow. I am. Are these flight attendants? America or burst? Yes. Oh my goodness. What just happened? Nothing good's happening. There you go. How's this for America or burst? How's this for some like all-time high vamping? Which is lap and which is EVC. It's exactly right. That's what we're doing here. This is what we're doing here. Okay, I've lost everything. But you knew that already. Okay, so join us for the lap show tomorrow at 11 a.m. That didn't sound right either. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, yes, it is. It is a thing. The more I read about it, I really started to love Pee-wee butts. And the more I read about it, I really started to love Pee-wee butts. It is always wonderful to have you all in on every Wednesday. We're going to be going over to Dr. Dynastic shortly. Our next broadcast will be Saturday, June 1st. Well, after tomorrow, of course. Yes, the lap show, you bring singles or 20s tomorrow. You know you're bringing 20s. You thought I only mispronounced player names. You all know. Pennies from heaven. Yeah, don't bring 50-cent penny rolls. That hurts. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I'll be back on Saturday with ribbon packs. I think I've got packs. We'll see what we got. Again, don't forget, we're going to be in London. Don't get the Black Dragon, Andy from Sheffield. We're going to go take in the games with family members and other folks. Hope to see you all there if you're going to be there. Andy, where are we going to be? In London for the London series. The world tour of the MLB will be in London, and we'll be having a wonderful time at the stadium. What was my stream last week? I don't even know what I did last week. I've forgotten everything. Unless you clip it, guys, I don't remember a darn thing. But looks like we're going to have a good time. And I'm looking forward to us hanging out in England for the London series. And then after the London series, I'm going to be taking off to the wonderful world of Scotland for some time with my better three quarters. So it's devolving is what we do. It's devolving dervish, as I like to call it. I want to thank all the people who subscribe to support the channel. You guys are awesome. Doc Holiday, Twitch, Spore, D King, recent subs, UVM Cats, Hailmoo, and A Hunter, recent subs. I also, again, I said this at the top of the stream, and maybe you didn't hear it. Also, Captain Kegleg for resubscribing, Dr. Nasser resubscribing for 10 months now. So thank you all for resubscribing. I mentioned this at the top of the stream, And I'm going to say it one more time just to be a little serious again. If you're over a certain age, if you're over 40, please go see your dermatologist and get stuff checked out every year. It's if you put it off, don't. Make sure you go do it. If you thought about it, if you stopped going, go do it. It is the best way for early detection of skin cancer, which I have gotten a prognosis for, and I'm going to get that taken out shortly after the show today. Cannot wait. So, it's an important thing. And if I can just spend this moment a little serious thing, go take care of yourself. Just go and check it out. Make sure everything's going okay. Because you spend a lot of time in the sun, things happen. So please go and make sure you've got that stuff. Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Shall we be watching that before we go? The only thing I have a question is, will they have subtitles in real life while I'm going through Scotland? Because I'm afraid they won't. Snatch. Which one? Snatch was good too. I like both of those. I should watch that again. Well, thank you for all the good wishes. I hope I healed quickly as well. It's all good. Not going to let a little bit of stuff get in the way. I understand. I'm going to see England in London, and then I'm going to go see Scotland, which are both parts of the UK. I am trying to get my lingo correctly. If you sit inside a lot of ball games, exactly. If you're going to Glenfiddich, there is an artist residency I have been trying to get into for years there. It's a super cool. Art from people who have been there for the past. Interesting. Very cool, Artist Ranger. No Wales? I don't know what that is. No Wales. I thought the exclamation point was another L in there. My better three quarters originally did Wales, but I said I really have to go to Scotland. Oh, passports are a thing. You haven't gotten your passport yet? Don't get the Black Dragon. Can you just get one easily? Here in the States, it's like you have to wait 2 or 3 months to get your passport. Can you get one that quickly? I'm not going to say that again. Takes you 6 weeks. Okay. Yes, Gesundheit. Exactly. You guys let me know if when Dr. Dynastic comes on, but we'll just kind of hang out here. I could go take a look at the Daily Bagels and Schmear. We could go do that and see what happened today. I know that Laptop Hound with the Gym Unknowns beat me in the first round, which, he does a lot. There's been a perfect team announcement since I've been on stream. The 25th Anniversary Choice Pack is now in. All the cards from that are now available. And, okay. Brand new breaking news here that I don't know yet. So let me go through and pull this as a big screen thing here. And see what we got here. So, full screen presenting here. Want to let you all know that we're aware that there have been some issues with some of you having able to purchase from FastSpring. Oh, okay, that was today at 12:15. Say suffered a major card attack over the weekend. As a result, FastSpring implemented some stricter risk analysis controls that have blocked some legitimate buyers in the last 48 hours. Working with FastSpring to adjust these controls and allow everyone to regain full access to purchasing the game and perfect points. Sorry for the inconvenience. Yeah, it's when you're doing commerce on your game, it is tough. Fraud is real bad, guys. The minority of customers should be able to freely purchase again now, but there are still few having difficulties. Work through the process of adjusting controls with FastSpring. You may still run into issues purchasing. If it happens, please send an email to support and let us know the email addresses you're trying to purchase from. And thanks so much for your patience and understanding. So there you go from there. And let's get into the game and take a look at the Daily Bagels and Schmear for this week. Or for today. I got ousted in the first round. And let's see where we are in the playoffs. Will there be some playoff implications on the monthly standings? Rolling, rolling, rolling. Half of us do lose in the first round. This is true. This is true. I'm very good at that, actually. I've won my tournament once. I've gotten second place once in a month and a half. So here we go. Tournament coverage. We're down to round 3. The Michigan Turnbull Whale Wanderers have beaten the Peoria Spitfires, or are up 2-1. The AWs of A-Dub is up 2-1 over the Enholder Braves. Those are point contenders here in the top bit. I think you did. Let's go through and take a look here at the latest ratings, if I can find where stuff is. Bagels. Exclamation point bagels. You can see all the latest results. Because of the holiday weekend and traveling, I did miss a couple, unfortunately. But, yeah, the A-Dubs are there. The Richmond Assassin Squirrels won on May 23rd. So, the leaderboard looks like this. Let me show you the leaderboard. The UVM Cats, the Alamo Placita PCK, the Bochi Boys, the Metro Keys, the home of the Braves, are in the final 8 there. The Possum Ridge Southpaws, the Macabre Shea, the Glasgow Pipers, the Corio Tigers, Pittsburgh Port Pirates. And if you've won 1, you're in for 5 points. So a lot of people have won 1. So that's what we're going up against here. So let's go back and take a look at the rest of the contenders as I go through between too many screens. The New York Metro Keys are back at it against the Anchorage Polar Bears. The San Jose Rattata against the Adidas Nylon Pants of Cheese Truck there. You can't see my leaderboard? Well, here's the form in case you can't see the leaderboard. If I screwed up there, there is the leaderboard. You can always use that link, and that will get you to the leaderboard each month. I know, I'm slow. The El Paso Preguntas are moving on. That's Rob Deer in the Headlights squad moving on into the next level. Excellent. The mothership is live. Okay, I'm going to show this one off. Ravencrest Warriors versus the Team Oklahoma Wildcat Bandit. The Eastwood Woodies versus the Okies Outlaws. And the Denver Lopes versus the Gym Unknowns. Laptop Hound making his way through. Let's go through. Again, always great having you here. Go get your dermatologist checkups if you're not getting it. And I'll be back on tomorrow, a laptop stream. We'll be doing the Pre-Twipped Hype Show. So in case you missed my bunk picks, if you're looking to fill out the form for the bunk picks, these were my bunk picks. Again, get in on Guess the Set. Oh my goodness. There is the link. Fill it out, win some packs. Let's go over to the mothership and get your packs. Again, don't worry, you will always get your full stuff. He always waits until I rate over to start the countdown. So, I always love that they don't even show it as the thing to rate into. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for the kind wishes for those that you have been chatting with me. I appreciate it. And I'm sure things will be just fine. And if they're not, I'll let you know. I'll see you tomorrow on the squad. Thank you guys. As always, you guys are awesome. Take care of yourselves out there. I adore each and every one of you and want you to be here for a long time. See you all on the other side. See you tomorrow, 11 a.m. on Laptops channel. Take care, everybody. Have a great one. Excuse me. Woohoo!